closer.
Yes.
All right.
So how was this week of practice after last Sunday's exhibition?
How what?
How was this week of practice after last Sunday's exhibition?
More energy. You know, I understand how this works. You know, being a basketball player that played in college, and you know, our team wasn't like that, but I can see teams kind of like looking at the schedule and going, "Oh, it's just." But the one thing you have to do is respect everyone. And CBU is well coached. They play hard. They play well together. They're a team. And we went out, the new guys, underestimating, you know, CBU, and the energy wasn't where I wanted it to be. And it had nothing to do with anything besides going out there and just playing your heart out. And I think that's what our city is owed, that's what I'm owed, that's what our staff is owed. And this week of practice has been high level, the way that it should be.
When you watched the film this week with the guys, you said that they had pride, or if they had the pride that you thought they had, that they would respond to it. Do you see the accountability that you wanted from them?
Yeah, absolutely. They understood what was going on and admitted to some things. You know, we didn't run any offensive sets. We didn't really run our normal defense. You know, I just wanted to see the guys kind of work together, even though it's a new group, kind of see if they could gel together without all of the, you know, the extra that we would do when the regular season starts. And we didn't pass that test. And it's okay too. But to play hard, that's not a question. You have to give all your energy.
Is there any particular player that you're expecting to step up a notch for this upcoming Sunday?
I'll say all, but it's, you know, especially you know, DeAndre, Alo, the leaders on the team. Those guys are going to have to take it to another level. Malcolm, yeah, it's about energy now. You know, it's we've been together long enough to understand how we won championships in high school, and the atmosphere and the culture that we brought here is supposed to be the same. It just hasn't caught up to what we're used to, in the games of going to NCAA tournaments and doing what we want to do. So to me, until you get consecutive streaks of making it to the NCAA and making it to Final Fours and having opportunities to win championships and Sweet 16s, you still have so much to prove. So we can't go into any game feeling like, you know, it's not important.
What was it like coaching Kendrick for your first exhibition? Because at the press conference, he was mentioning how he wants to bring a championship to the city.
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually coaching Kendrick instead of coaching against him. You know, he just adds that dimension to the team that, you know, offensively, I feel like it's hard to guard, obviously, and he can get to the basket whenever he wants. He knows how to find people, and to have him on our team is huge. But to be, you know, it just to see him on our side was a great feeling.
And what do you want to get out of Sunday's game? I know you're going to tinker with lineup to combinations again, but what do you want to see at the end of the game Sunday?
Well, last week, I'll just talk about last week and then I'll talk about this week. I wanted to see us be more in the gaps. I wanted to see us kind of shrink the floor a little bit when the ball was swung. Just all the little things that we've been working on defensively. Offensively, spread the floor and just play. This week, I want to see us just be tougher. You know, I want to see the energy from the beginning to get the crowd into the game and keep it at a high level.
Penny, with so many new faces, what does this team as a group need to do to achieve its best version? What are you emphasizing as a unit?
I think as a unit, they have to do more than just play basketball. They have to hang together off the court to understand each other, you know, on all levels. And that carries over quite well on the court. I think that they have to gain an identity early. Well, who do we want to be? You know, and once you do that, then you have to live up to that every single night. Right now, we haven't had an identity given yet, and I'm still waiting on that. But to be good as a group, you have to do more than just be on the court. You have to be off the court as well.
Do you have a sense of what that identity should be? Do you have a sense of what that identity should be?
I mean, I wanted it to be about toughness. You know, this city is a grit and grind city. I think this university has to be about toughness and defense.
Okay.
And then offense is just what it is, but that's what we want.
Okay.
I was going to say the same thing. Good.
Yeah, so I mean that's basically it.
How's everybody feeling health-wise?
Got some knick-knack injuries, man. It's happened all summer. We haven't had like a full team on the court. Man, maybe one or two times, maybe. And when that happens, somebody gets like an ankle or, you know, an old injury happens or something. So it's been a little frustrating, but the guys are working hard to get back on the court.
What's the difference in trying to get a team to gel when it's a bunch of freshmen versus a bunch of transfers?
Well, I think it's what's in your heart. Obviously, we know that the veterans, you know, have been there before, and the freshmen haven't. But it's about what's in your heart. If you care enough, you can make it work. You know, if it's not just about making it to the NBA or getting your own stats, it's about playing hard for your teammate, making sure that you care enough to make sure that the things that's supposed to be done as a team are done. at all times, on and off the court. I keep saying off the court because it's parallel. You know, it has to work together.
Hey Penny, other than the top guys, who has raised your game so far this year?
I mean, I'll just talk about guys from last year. Obviously, to me, Jonathan Lawson and Chandler Lawson have both worked their butts off this summer. My son Jaden has worked, even though he didn't show it Sunday, they've worked extremely hard to be better this year on understanding what is needed from them and to be, you know, better teammates, you know, in the locker room, better teammates on the court, asking more questions, and being in the gym more. So to me, that's the win with those guys understanding that we have to be better.
Penny, the guys talked about shooting it with more confidence, knowing that they are good shooters, but just being ready to shoot. With you and your staff, how do you guys instill that confidence in them, even with the bad display on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. Obviously, you don't want to go, what was it, 2 for 19?
Mm-hmm.
That's awful. But at the end of the day, we know we're not going to shoot that way every night. But what it does, it gets you to working harder. It keeps you, you know, with a chip on your shoulder and that edge that you got to have to, you know, not relax. Because if we go, you know, 50% from three or higher, then all of a sudden guys are comfortable and relaxed. We don't want them to ever relax. We want to shoot better, but we always want to keep that edge that we have to continue to shoot. What's
it been like developing KO? Because now he's developing a three-point shot.
Yeah, it's been a difficult process because he's been trained as a 5 that just rim runs, sits in the dunker spot, and then catches lobs. And what I've done since June is put him on the perimeter to let him be more of a perimeter player. So I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would say it's a difference for him. It's more easier for me because I know what I want him to do, and he just has to be able to do it. So we're just getting his guard skills up, and his shooting. He can definitely shoot a spot up 3 really well. You know, he did that when he was working out for NBA teams this summer. Is that a part of his game on this team yet? I don't know. You know, Jalen Duren had to work his way up to being a jump shooter on this team, and if we continue to work and KO continues to work like he is, then that will eventually be a part of what he does for us.
Going back to KO, his body transformation, you know, putting on 20, 25 pounds, what did you and your staff kind of implement, or what advice did y'all give him to help him do that? And how much have you seen that help him in practice? And
yeah, I think, you know, it's a fine line because I was very skinny when I came. You don't want to overdo it too quickly because your body needs time to, you know, adjust to that. But the size looks great on him as long as he can continue to be KO. You know, and the size it looks better. He's stronger down there, but if it stops you from running and jumping, then you have to be careful. But for us, we're applauding that he's set goals for himself, weight-wise, basketball-wise, team-wise, and we want to support that. But to me, he looks great, and you know, he's going to be, his skill catches up to that as well. Man, his ceiling is very high.
Do you feel more comfortable with him on the perimeter offensively as a potential floor stretcher, or defensively switch on the guards and things of that nature?
No, defensively right now, his offense has to catch up. Like I said, we're having to get him to be more of a perimeter-minded guy when he's only played inside all the years that he's been playing.
How close is the defense to get to the level of your liking?
You know, we've done some special things over the last month that we've looked at each other. The coaching staff was going, man, we're going to be a really good defensive team. So I'm excited that we could get to a #1 team in the country defensive efficiency again, because the mindset of the guys, the understanding of what we're teaching, and you have rim protection with KO, with Malcolm, and with Jamar when he gets eligible, and with DeAndre. So, you know, you have to have that. We got enough length and speed to be really good.
I assume the jury's still out on DeMarie and Jamar.
Yeah, it's still out, man. I'm just praying that, you know, these teams, you know, do what's right and have these kids just move on, you know, and help them move on.
What are your thoughts on, with Houston and Cincinnati specifically leading the conference, what are your thoughts on, you know, scheduling them as non-conference opponents in the future?
I think that's always something that we would want to do because they're, you know, especially Houston being a top 5 team, you always want to have that energy to play against a team that you know is going to be relentless for 40 minutes and see where you stand against that, vice versa for them. Because we do things to them that other schools don't do. That's why we've been a little successful. The same with Cincinnati because of that rivalry back in the day with us. To have Cincinnati, get Louisville back, and then to still keep Houston, that would be great for me if we could get that to happen.
Hey Penny, when you first got in, people didn't want to schedule you because they didn't know they had more to lose than a game. But you do think it's easier now since you established yourself as a good coach that it won't be a lose-lose, it could be a win-win by scheduling?
I still think teams think that we're a scary game for them. I don't think like the nation's not giving us the respect because we have to really earn it. I understand we're not in the top 25. Teams know that we're capable of beating any team in the top 25. So, I get that. We have to do all of our business in these tournaments that we're playing, like in these these MTEs, on these in Orlando and playing Auburn in Atlanta. These neutral site games. Not going to really come to Memphis and play us, but hopefully we'll eventually get to that with home and homes.
Are we expecting a lineup change for Sunday?
Yeah, there will be a lineup change for sure.
Do you mind sharing?
I don't really know what it's going to be, but I just want to mix it up a little bit now in those two games. Let everyone get a fair shot at trying to get it done.
Penny, not asking you to look too far ahead, but you're going to see Jerry Stackhouse's team in a little bit here. Do you guys have a relationship, and how cool is it for you to see across the way, another former NBA star trying to navigate this college coaching thing?
Yeah, Stack and I have a good relationship, definitely on a mutual respect level. We definitely respected each other's careers in the NBA, and now we're respecting each other's coaching prowess or coaching career thus far. I mean, he won a championship in the G League, I think. Has been doing very well at Vanderbilt. Hasn't started off the way that he wanted to, but he's building. He's a brilliant mind. He has an unbelievable staff. And it's great to see that he's in the same state and that he's a former NBA peer coaching on this level and being, and being one of the guys that's on the up and coming as far as like his teams getting the respect that they deserve.
Penny, you've been coaching ALO for over a decade now. Is there anything new that you can coach into him or from him this last season?
No, all I can do is be supportive now. I've gone through all the bumps and bruises with him,
okay.
And now it's time to just let him be because he understands. Obviously if he needs me, I'm there. But watching film is very important for him now because he needs to see, both sides of the basketball and how he's doing out there. But he should be able to handle himself by now.
Yeah, finished product.
Yes.
Anything else? All right.
Thanks, Coach.